Hello, believers, non believers, and everyone in between. You're listening to Stories with Sapphire. I am Sapphire Sandalo. Now get cozy and open your mind because it's story time.
Hi, everyone. Happy Wednesday and welcome to Stories with Sapphire Live. I'm Sapphire Sandalo, and this is the live stream I do every Wednesday at 5:30 Pacific Standard Time, where I read your emails and your stories that might be too short for the podcast. Can you tell how hot it is over here? I am just like glistening in sweat right now. Anyways, thank you all for joining me. And yes, this is live if you're watching it right now at 5:30 Pacific Standard Time on a Wednesday. I saw in the no, bruh. It's not pre-recorded. This is happening right now. It is pre-recorded if you watch it later. It shows up on the thing. Anyways, today's theme, sometimes I theme the live, sometimes I don't. It really just depends on my mood, honestly, if I can find a theme or not. But I got a couple emails that are from people in the Philippines related to Filipino folklore. So that's our theme today. Are y'all ready for the first story? Okay. I have like a kind of a hard out at 6. So, oh no, I forgot my cards. Shoot. Okay. Yeah, we usually do a card reading at the end of the stream. So if we have time for a card reading, we'll do it. But if not, I have a hard out. So let's get into it. All right, this first story comes from Harley Clown. It's called The Hospital Elevator. It's a Filipino urban legend. All right, here we go. Hello, Sapphire. The last stories I've written to you have been original stories based on folklore tales from around the world. I know how much you enjoy Filipino folklore, so I decided to create a story based on a Filipino urban legend. Most of the stories I searched up online didn't really grab my attention, or you have already made a story about, but one story stood out to me. I'm not sure if you've heard it before, but it's about a doctor and an elevator. I have been working as a doctor in the Philippines for 10 years now, and I take pride in what I do. Or at least, I used to. This particular night was fairly normal. I was on the 6th floor of our 8th-floor hospital building. It had been a long day, and I had just finished up with my last patient for the evening. I began my walk down the long hall to the elevator. On my way, I passed multiple rooms that I found oddly quiet. Usually there were nurses and doctors running in and out of them like a traffic jam, along with tired patients and crying toddlers. But today was different. I could only hear the mumbles of a few doctors talking with their patients. Other than that, the place seemed hollow and empty. I finally reached the elevator and pressed the button with my knuckle. My legs were sore from that long walk and overall just having a not-so-great day. About a moment later, the elevator doors opened. A woman who looked to be in her late 20s smiled, moved to the right, and motioned for me to enter. "What floor?" she asked, politely. "First floor, please," I responded with a weak smile. She was about to press the button for the first floor when we both heard a noise, a quiet clacking or thumping noise as if someone was running. We looked out the elevator doors to see a man who appeared to be a patient all the way at the other end of the hall, running wildly straight for the elevator. The woman put her arm into the doorway to keep it from closing so the man could get on, but I could feel in my gut that something was wrong. The man had gotten closer, and I tried to get a good look at him. He looked normal, nothing out of the ordinary, except for one thing, something he was wearing, something that made my heart sink into my stomach. The man was running faster and was coming closer and closer. I quickly grabbed the woman from the doorway and pushed her out of the way. The man was getting closer and closer. I could see his eyes were wide open, and he was running at an abnormal speed. I slammed the button to close the doors, but they wouldn't close fast enough. They moved like they were stuck in molasses. The man wasn't very far away and was still getting closer, coming faster and faster. The elevator doors were narrowing, and the man was only a few meters away. The door finally shut just before the man could get in, and he slammed into the elevator door with a loud bang. There was a silence in the elevator for a moment. The woman was standing in the corner of the elevator with shock, and I was trying to calm myself down after what had just happened. But before I could, the woman started scolding me. "What is wrong with you?" she yelled angrily. "He wanted to get on. Why did you stop him?" I turned around and looked at her. "I wanted to. I really did," I began. "But he was wearing a red wristband. We only put those on patients who've died." The woman looked at me frightened, then looked down. We stood in silence again as the elevator started to go down. I looked over at the woman to make sure she was all right and that I hadn't scared her too much. I saw her raise her arm to reveal the dark red wristband she was wearing and said, "Just like mine." Woo! I got chills. Oh, that's a good one. I like that a lot. I have heard versions of that. But yeah, that one was really cool. Thank you. Thank you, Harley Clown. That one was tight. All right, let's see. Oh, this is a long boy. Sorry, hang on. Someone keeps calling me. My sister. Sister, hang on. Hey, I'm live streaming right now.
Oh, sorry. Okay.
Goodbye. All right. Okay, here we go. This is from Donnelyn. "Hello, at the Sapphire. I've been a fan of you since you were in Snarled. I hope this gets featured in your videos. My dreams predict death, that even my mother is scared whenever I dream. It all started when I turned 13. Right after my birthday party celebration, it all went downhill for me. Have you ever thought a song in your head and the song comes playing on the radio? Have you ever thought of something, have you ever thought of something and then heard that exact thing you thought come out the mouth of someone? Have you ever felt deja vu? Have you ever had a dream and had it come true? I experienced all of this at first. At first, I was thinking a song in my head. If I can recall, it was Dancing Queen by ABBA. I was singing the lyrics in my head, and when that taxi driver turned on the radio, the lyrics I sung in my head exactly continued on the radio. This kind of thing continued to happen. I was talking to my father about our past dog dying, and I thought to myself, why not get a new dog? My mother said the exact same thing. Was I thinking out loud? The same kind of phenomenon happened with my sister, too. I was looking online to buy this knitted dress, but something inside of me didn't want to buy it. I joked inside my head that someone will just give it to me as a gift, hopefully. After that, my sister came visiting us and told me that she ordered this knitted dress online and it didn't fit her, so she wanted to give it to me. I took a look at it, and it was the exact dress I wanted, from the color to the details. Was it all a coincidence? I thought that it was, and that everyone experiences this too, but not until I had a series of sleep paralysis. My sleep paralysis will always happen after I dream about something bad. I was really tired after my birthday celebration. I was walking around, greeting guests, talking with my friends, talking with Ninang and Ninongs, eating a lot of food. So just like anyone else after I got home, I decided to just flop on my bed and sleep. I fell into a deep, peaceful slumber, or that's what I thought. Moments into my sleep, I had this dream about visiting a funeral, and it was my grandma's funeral from my father's side. I remember in my dream that everyone was wearing black, and everyone was in the cemetery. I saw all my relatives there and my father's side of the family looking at the casket, crying. In my dream, I decided to come forward and take a look. But before I even got to take a look, I heard the name of my grandmother. Before I even got to take a look, I suddenly woke up and unable to move my body. My whole body was paralyzed. I couldn't speak or move, and I can only see. It's like I'm awake, but my whole body is paralyzed. I tried screaming to get help from my mother, but nothing happened. I finally woke up, and my mother told me that after I woke up, I sat up in shock, and my right hand was reaching up as if I was reaching up to the sky. I told my mother about my experience, and she scolded me. She told me this all happened because I slept while I was full, and probably because I was tired after my birthday celebration. That's what every Filipino adult will tell you, so I decided that she was probably right. Weeks later, after I got home from visiting my friend, I was confused as to why my sister visited us on her workday. As I removed my slippers, ready to go inside, my sister raised her face to meet mine and told me, "So, I'm guessing you already heard the news about Grandma. You're wearing all black today." My heartbeat started raising. I instantly... Oh, God, sorry. My heartbeat started raising. I instantly remembered what I dreamt about Grandma. I asked her, "What happened to Grandma?" It turns out, while I was at my friend's house, my grandma was rushed to the hospital and had cardiac arrest and was declared dead there. This morning, I decided to wear an all-black outfit. I thought to myself that you can never go wrong with black, right? I was wearing all black that day on my grandma's death, and that was before my grandma even died. My mother even joked that I was all prepared in advanced mag-isip, since I was already wearing all black before she even got admitted to the hospital and was declared dead. It was as if my subconscious mind was subconsciously preparing me for my grandmother's death. I talked to my mother and told her if she remembered the dream I had about Grandma. My mother told me that it was probably all coincidence that happened. I still kind of blamed my grandmother's death because I could have at least done something to stop it. Whoa, sorry, there's a lot of it looks like they copy pasted stuff, so it's kind of hard to read. I'm 17 now, and I'm still experiencing this kind of phenomenon. 6 of my relatives and distant relatives died, and I had a dream about all of them. Is 6 times still a coincidence? My mother finally believes me. It took her 6 deaths and 6 dreams before she even got to that point. That's why I'm very careful about who I dream, because they all come true. And so I thought it only happens in my dreams. It also happens while I'm awake. This was just recently. While I was sitting in a cafe drinking my coffee, there was this weird visualization in my head that played out. In order to get to this cafe, you need to cross this busy road. 24 hours, 24/7, there's always cars driving there. So it's kind of unsafe to cross that road since both cars go from left and right. So you really need to be extra careful crossing. I visualized an old woman. She was crossing the road and getting hit by a silver car, and that woman flew away due to the impact of the car. And the woman landed on the stop sign near the small convenience store. Exactly 1 week after I got home from school, I heard news from my older cousin that her mother was in the hospital due to a hit and run. And as everyone knows, every Filipino families are chismosas and chismosos and love to stick their noses in others' business. My cousin sent us the CCTV camera footage of her mother getting hit. It was at the exact same road that I visualized. The same exact color car I saw in my vision. The exact same thing happened. She flew due to the impact and landed exactly where I imagined it, on the stop sign next to the convenience store. It was even televised in the news, and now if you're going to visit that spot where she landed, there's lit candles and a trampoline sign. Be careful when crossing right where she landed. All of this experience felt deja vu to me. I didn't tell my mother about this one because it will get her paranoid even more. And recently, I had another dream of my other cousin, of his funeral. Whoa! Thank you for sharing that. Parts of that remind me of a story I read for the podcast. I Dream of Deaths. The girl who wore black and then her dad died. So maybe that's a common thing that happens. I don't know. That's pretty crazy. Angel Sandoval, thank you for the super chat. Speaking of dreams, ever dreamed of a certain song and wake up with the song stuck in your head the rest of the day? P.S. Call your sis back later. Have I dreamed of a certain song? Pretty sure I have. Can't think of a moment. Yeah, my dreams are like really weird. And I think this is gonna sound absolutely insane, and I do not care. If anything, this is the place to share it. But I do feel like I have I've leveled up in my dreams, and I have unlocked a power. Because now in my dreams, I feel like I see dead people, and it feels different. Like I've always had vivid dreams, but like now, like in the dream, and I see them. I've seen a couple dead family members, and I go, "Oh, you are you. Like you're dead." But and then they're just standing there, but they look different. As in, like they look different from other people in the dream. So I don't know. I don't know. I've been having really, yeah. I won't share what happens to them, and then it's, God. Anyways, I mean, everyone here, you all know I've been working on my spiritual awakening. Is that the word? Never mind. I'm not gonna go into that right now. All right, what time is it? 5:46. Let's do it. Let's do another story. Oh, let's see. Which one do we want to do? I guess we can do Batangas. Is it pronounced Batangas? Can someone Filipino in the chat tell me Batangas? Did I say that right? Or is it It's not Batangas. Batangas. God, I hope I'm saying that right. Everyone already hates me for my pronunciation. All right, here we go. This is called Experience in Batangas. Hello, Sapphire. Really love your stories, and I would like to share another experience from Batangas. Batangas. It may sound sus since I experience lots of things like this, but trust me, it happens a lot. My tita is from Batangas in the Philippines, and I decided to go on a vacation with my little brother, who's 4 years old. Two of my titas were living there, but one abandoned her house and moved to Germany. We stayed with my tita, who still lives there. One night, me and my brother decided to get some balut, and to get there, we had to pass the house. On our way home, my brother acted up. We were around the abandoned home around this time. He kept telling me that he wanted me to carry him since it was dark. Since it's dark, I refused because we might trip on a rock, and there were only a few streetlights. He suddenly tightened his grip on my hand, and he was mumbling something I couldn't understand and said, "Ate, please carry me. There's something on Tita's house." Gosh, my other tita word probably made him scared. Sorry, there's an error. My other tita probably made him scared since my tita said there was a bantay or guard on my tita's place. At this point, we passed the house, but he still wouldn't stop bugging me, so I decided to carry him because he was too cute to resist. He whispered something in my ears, which made me annoyed. "Ate, he's looking at us. Ate, I'm scared." I didn't even bother looking since I knew he was just paranoid. 5 steps forward, and there was a loud thump behind us. "Ate, stay still. He's here, Ate," he whispered in my ear. I felt my neck getting cold as his grip tightened. I was shitting bricks. I looked behind us, and there it was. A black shadow, pure black, tall, with golden eyes. We locked eyes for a good 5 seconds before I told my brother to hold tight. I started running as fast as I could. And oh God, I am not a good runner, and I got tired very easily. I heard loud footsteps behind us. My brother was crying, and I was also on the verge of tears. Thoughts were filling the inside of my head, and I still hear him chasing us. Eventually, I reached my tita's home. She was visibly worried. She kept asking me what happened. I was running so fast, and there were a few bruises on my feet. I couldn't speak since I was so out of breath. My brother spoke for me, though. "Tita, the black man, it was chasing us." And she wasn't shocked. Turns out, the stories she was telling us weren't supposed to be just for us to get creeped out. She said it was just gonna be fine, though, but she forbid us from going out at night, only if I was with someone. Ever since then, I refused to go to Batangas. It was truly a traumatizing experience. Please, do you have any clue what this is? Ooh, Bantay guard. Wait, let me see. Yes, Batangas. Did I say that right? Batangas. um, I actually, it's interesting that the shadow is referred to as a guard because what it could be is like a guard. It's something that is protecting the house, not necessarily protecting it from people who don't live there. Something that's really common is that there are spirits or entities and things that won't ever appear or manifest for the homeowners, but they manifest when the homeowners are gone and other people in their house because they're like, hang on a second, like, who are you? You don't live here. This actually happened in my house when my friend was staying here and I wasn't here, and then something happened to her. But yeah, that's really common. So I'm wondering if maybe that is what it is. I don't know if it has a name. Not everything in the spirit world has a name or needs a name. Sometimes things just exist. All right, cool. Let's go ahead and mark that one as red. Great. Okay. I think we got time for another one. So this one there's two short stories in this one. Oh my gosh, excuse me, I'm so burpy. All right, this is our last one, Kev. Hi, Ate. Don't know if you'll see this, but I'll still take my chances. Firstly, I would like to say that I'm a huge fan. I've been following you since Snarled until you got your own channel. Listening to scary stories by you has been my favorite pastime. I wanted to tell you 2 stories I'd like to share. These are events that happened with my family, and especially mine. Story number 1, my cousin is the name. I was able to go home since class ended early. It was lunchtime, and it was only me and my tita in the house. I was just in the living room watching TV, and my tita was doing the dishes. We then heard the gates open. My cousin was back from school. I greeted her as she entered the house, but she didn't respond. She then proceeded to go upstairs without uttering a single word, and we just thought she was tired from school. Half an hour passed. My tita called her. Rai, kaon na, which means time to eat. Oh, are you Cebuano? Because I actually understand that. No response. As she kept calling my cousin to come down and eat, we heard the gate open. I checked to see who it was. It was my cousin. My tita asked her, weren't you just upstairs? But my cousin had no idea what she was talking about, and she said that she just arrived. We both went upstairs to check who that person was, but once we got upstairs, no one was there. Later that afternoon, my cousin and aunt went out to run some errands, so I was left alone. I was just sitting there watching TV when suddenly the door to a nearby room just aggressively slammed shut. And mind you, it was not windy that day. To this day, I still remember this experience. I know that this wasn't just like a weird daydream because my tita also remembers this. All right. That's creepy. Story number 2 has no title. Here we go. This one happened to my dad. He and my grandfather were driving home one night from a long trip in another city. It was rather far from our house, so it took them hours to return. While driving on an empty road, they saw a figure from afar. It was a lady, dressed in a white dress. My father was slightly unsettled, but he tried to brush off the feeling. But as they got closer, the figure started to deform. Her hair was more disheveled. Oh, God, sorry. Her dress all torn, and her face was inhuman, to say the least. My father immediately sped the car up to rush past her. My father and grandfather have heard stories about creatures like this, since it's common in Filipino myths. We both know that white ladies are typically harmless, but this one was different. It had evil in its eyes. I really hope you'd see this. There are more stories I would love to share, but maybe I'll share them when I feel ready or when I remember some of them more vividly. I hope these stories get featured on your channel or read on your podcast. Salamat in advance po Ate Sapphire. P.S. I had to resend this because my last email was deleted for some reason. Anyways, sana makita mo taate. Would love to have you read my stories. Wait, sana makita. I don't know what sana is, but makita mo, like, see? Makita. Well, see? Like, I hope you see the story. I hope you see this. Love to. Sorry, I'm trying. I'm trying to translate. Yeah, if anyone, I'm learning Cebuano, so if anyone in the chat is Cebuano, send me an email in Cebuano so I can practice. All right, well, that's our stories for today. Also, just a heads up, if you didn't know, I'm starting a new live stream. It's like a super chill one, just for fun. This is vibes. That's gonna be every Thursday at 4 p.m. Pacific. And to like come up with a better name, I'm calling it Lo-Fi Stories to Chill to. So my husband is writing some like lo-fi, spooky, chill beats to like play in the background, and then I'll read like classic ghost stories or Grimm's fairy tales. So it's more just like a vibe. Like if you want to just, because so many people tell me that they put on the podcast in the background to sleep or to study. But the purpose of the podcast is to be listened to, not to be chilled to in the background. So I figured, let me do like a live stream specifically for that purpose so that you actually can use that while you study and sleep. Yeah. Literal loser. Cebuano is not on Duolingo. Otherwise, I'd be using it, obviously. All right, everyone. Thank you so much for hanging out. Bye, 23 Monkey 45, Melodraws, Mikey C, Angel Sandoval, Marvin, Elangbum, Vintage iPhone, Azan Bot 333, Scarlet Shield 009. I'm not reading that username. Zoe and Bree, Jay, Kian, Astrin Joy, Mimi24, Kiryu, Jungteen, Crime Brulee, Harley Clown, Seasonal Frostbite, Cheese and Banana, the population of Liechtenstein. And that's okay. That's all you're saying. All right.